his liver transplant. J.T. Turpin is still fighting. My follow-up on Nightside.
Portions of the following live NBC special have been pre-recorded.
Hi, honey, I left the office early. And have I got a surprise for you? I brought the Colonel home.
I've got a surprise for you. So did I.
Live from Hollywood, The Tonight Show starring Johnny Carson. Tonight, we celebrate 22 years of late-night entertainment. This is Ed McMahon along with Doc Severinsen and the NBC Orchestra, inviting you to join Johnny with some highlights from the past. Some of the stars sharing our 22nd anniversary are Albert Brooks, Charles Grodin, Buddy Hackett, Howie Mandel, Red Skelton, Jimmy Stewart, Betty White, Robin Williams, Shelley Winters, and more animals from Joan Embry and Jim Fowler. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here's Johnny.
Thank you. You only did that so you'd get on camera, right? Thank you very much. That's very nice of you. And let me be perfectly honest. I'm going to accept that applause tonight on behalf of all of us on The Tonight Show, from Ed and Doc and the producers and the writers and everybody behind the scenes, the band, everybody. And I thank you for coming tonight. Didn't they tell you this was black tie? People in T-shirts. Anyway, we've got a fun couple hours for you, I think. We are live tonight, and I want you to know, and I say this honestly, I've been looking forward to this evening. I truly enjoy this particular show. This is the one part of my life where I get to hear the words, happy anniversary. And in the next 2 hours, I'm going to try to tickle your funny bone. And if you want anything else, that, of course, is extra. We are live tonight. The people now on the East Coast, oh, it's so tempting to say things. It's a live show. We have never, ever used a laugh track on The Tonight Show. So remember, every lull you hear is a real lull. Like the one that you just heard. Now, I've been with The Tonight Show for 22 years, and, you know, you can't buy loyalty like that, but they did. When I talk about all of us on The Tonight Show, we truly, really are, well, we're just like a typical family, right? We're spiteful, abusive. We don't talk to each other, so it's a wonderful family. 22 years. Actually, if you think about it, it's no big deal. Take away the commercials, it's about a week and a half. We've really been on the air. 22 years ago. Strange. Mr. T was only Mr. A. Okay. How many of you were not born in 1962? Try to think what was going on in television 22 years ago. We had some wonderful family shows, if you remember. We had Father Knows Best, Leave It to Beaver, My Three Sons. You know, those were great family shows. But censorship has changed a lot. I mean, 22 years ago, you could not say four-letter words on television. Now on Dynasty, they're performing four-letter words. Big change. Do you know in 1962, the Cuban Missile Crisis had just started? Now, who would have thought things would have changed that much? At that time, a president was actually thinking about bombing Russia. This is a happy anniversary, folks. A lot of things have happened in 22 years, and if you don't believe me, I'll let you read the court transcripts. It has been amazing. I don't know if you... Believe it or not, I started with a local talk show in Nebraska. That's it. But it was not easy getting really good guests back there. No, nothing about... As a rule, you don't find Sir Laurence Olivier hanging a right at Omaha. Coming to the studio. Ed and I have been together more than 22 years, about 26 years. And people always say, how did you meet Ed? What was he doing? Ed was working as a speed bump in a Philadelphia parking lot. Living on and Fred. Our executive producer, Fred DeCordova, has been in show business longer than any of us on the show. Remember the British sailor they found last week, had been frozen in the ice for 146 years? Fred directed him in Mutiny on the Bounty. Anyway, I'd like to do the show for another 22 years, but But I suppose that's up to Gromyko and Reagan. Speaking of politics, I know you want to mark this down. The first of the presidential debates will be held on October the 15th. Now, I don't know how you feel, but don't you think there are enough blooper shows on TV? I try to stay neutral. It's interesting because the Democrats are accusing Reagan of quoting Democratic presidents. You ever notice that? There's a good reason. If you try quoting the last two Republican presidents, I'm not a crook, and Poland is in Australia, aren't much help. Out here in California, we have a crazy situation going on. I passed by Disneyland today, and the Seven Dwarfs were overturning an RV filled with Japanese tourists. Yeah, there's a strike at Disneyland, if you can imagine that. And the Snow White and the Dwarfs, I understand, are making a career change. Snow White got an offer this week to play Lady of the Evening on Dynasty. Dopey was made head of network programming. And Sleepy is thinking of running for president. Did you know that? Anyway, I thank you for coming tonight. What we have a lot of highlights from not only the past year, but some of the classics. From previous years, a lot of guest stars, and I thank you for coming tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we'll be back with you in just a moment. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Feel the lather, the scent is brisk. No one does it quite like this. As hard as you, Coast works as hard as you, picks you up and pulls you through, it pulls you through. Coast works as hard as you.
Warm moments, she's such a delight. Rub-a-dub, baby, the water's just right. Snuggle down cozy, baby, sleep tight. Let our gentle flame keep you warm tonight. Warm moments, those warm moments. fence. Nothing warms you like gas.
Warm is what natural gas is all about. Clean, efficient, and in most areas, the lowest priced fuel. Shouldn't it be in your home?
Nothing warms you like gas.
This is the pain-relieving medicine for which doctors have written 100 million prescriptions. And now you can get it in a new non-prescription strength. Bristol Myers introduces Nuprin. One tablet has the strength to relieve most minor aches and pains. Nuprin contains ibuprofen. It's a medicine totally different than aspirin or the ingredient in Tylenol. If you've had a serious problem taking aspirin, before taking Nuprin, ask your doctor. The medicine in new Nuprin, it's over 100 million prescriptions strong.
Come fly with me, come fly away.
Right now, get up to $200 in free travel on United Airlines when you buy a selected AT&T phone. This way, you can give someone a product that sets the standards, while you can fly to any of the 50 states, even at United's lowest published fares. Up to $200 free travel on United. Visit your AT&T retailer now.
And come fly with me.
All right, thank you.
Here we go again.
Here we go again.
Congratulations.
What do we have?
You know, we started on a Monday night. It was a Monday night, October 1st, in 1962.
That is right.
Yeah.
Monday, October
Yeah.
1. A lot of things have happened.
Sure have.
I've said this before about working with all these years. You are a rock on this show, and I can't imagine not doing the Tonight Show without you sitting here night after night.
Thank you.
When things are going bad, you jump in.
Right.
When things are going good, you leave. It has been a wonderful association.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
What we have tonight,
Thank you.
and for Doc, too.
And Doc.
And Doc. Okay. Notice how he upstages by wearing a red bow tie tonight?
yeah.
Sure. One-upsmanship. Okay, this first little excerpt we have for you. I love having youngsters on the show. There's something about youngsters and sometimes elderly people have a lot in common. They say exactly what's on their mind. They don't have any affectations, and they can shoot you down very often. We had a young man by the name of Daniel Greenblatt, whom I think had won the national spelling contest.
He had.
And he must be about 10 or 11, something like that. And I thought I was a good speller until Daniel showed up. And you were giving the words that night.
That's right.
For us to spell. So here's a little excerpt from my mismatch with Daniel Greenblatt.
Amblyopia.
May I have the correct pronunciation?
Amblyopia.
Amblyopia. A-M-B-L-I.
B-L-E.
No, wrong. Give me the rest.
That's wrong.
Wrong? That's what I have here.
A-M-B-L-Y.
Okay. All right. You're right. I got the card and I got it wrong.
Okay, let's get going here.
Dermatoglothics.
What? What is that?
Dermatoglothics.
Dermatoglyphics.
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 Dermatoglyphics, he said. Well, that's not fair. This dummy can't pronounce them.
You want to try it?
What?
You want to try it? You want to try one of these?
How's that pronounced, Daniel?
Dermatoglyphics.
You want to go ahead with that one?
Okay. Dermatoglyphics. D-E-R-M-A-T-O-G-L-Y-P-H-I-C-S.
Correct.
Okay. One more.
One more. Bowery.
Like the Bowery?
Bowery. This one means farm or plantation.
Well. Bowery, it's pretty simple. B-O. B-O-W. B-O-W-E. R-Y.
Yeah! B-O-W.
Every anniversary show, we try to find, we go back and we look into the archives, and very often I've asked people if they have any of the early Tonight shows. Many of them, like from the first 10 years, no longer exist. For some reason, the tapes were erased, I guess, to use for other shows. So we were looking around the other day, and we ran across a piece. I guess this is in black and white, isn't it? Although the Tonight Show has always been done in color, somebody obviously had made a kinescope of this, and it was in the 60s. I would guess maybe 64, something like that, featuring Buddy Hackett. I always thought Buddy Hackett is a funny man, and he was just as funny back in the 60s as he is right now. So here's a very early clip, probably maybe 15 or 16 years old, with Mr. Buddy Hackett, telling a story about boating.
You want to hear about my boat? Now, I know that you got a 42-foot boat.
Yeah.
Big one. Costs about $42,000.
Well, I've never discussed the financial.
Well, that's what your boat cost, John. And you bought that boat with everything that's left over from paying good artists $320. And then, you know how much my boat cost? $2,500. A 29-foot boat that costs $2,500. Yours costs $1,000 a foot, and mine don't even cost $100 a foot. Do you have ship to shore on yours? Yes, I don't. Do you know why?
No.
So much smoke and steam pours out of the boat that people come to give me help when I don't even ask. Take your boat out anywhere, right?
Well, except in heavy weather.
Heavy weather, like in the Hudson River. You
Sure.
Can, anytime, right?
Yes.
Not me. I sit in it and wait for the tide to take me.
What?
Just the other day, I got to the other side of the marina. When I yell ahoy, you know who I'm yelling to? Another guy in the boat.
Do you have a depth finder?
Do I have a depth finder? You don't think I'm going to put that in the water, do you? I'll tell you about a depth
Maybe you misunderstood the question.
My kid is my depth finder. He don't throw no rock. I put him in the water. If it's over his head, we get out of it.
I haven't seen that myself for years.
Wonderful.
Isn't it nice how my hair has not changed color at all?
Not at all, no.
Just the same. About, I guess it was 4 or 5 months ago, we had Julio Iglesias on the show. And somebody suggested, because he made that record with Willie Nelson, To All the Girls I've Loved Before. And somebody said, why don't you do it as Willie? So what we did that night when Julio was sitting here, we pretended that Willie Nelson was in rehearsal down the hall. And I went back, and Harry Blake and the makeup crew made me over, and wardrobe and so forth, and I came out to sing with him as Willie Nelson.
And it's startling.
It was kind of strange because we didn't want to break up and ruin the whole thing, and I had to sing straight through it, and I'd been singing that cussed song for 2 weeks at home until I was sick of it. So we told Julio when we came back from the commercial just to introduce Willie like he was rehearsing down the hall here, and let's see what happens. So here is Willie, quote, and Julio Iglesias.
We're going to sing together To All the Girls We've Loved Before.
To all the girls I've loved before,